Hi everybody, Tim here, and this is the Elusive frame. Today I'll be talking about my latest short film, Fresh. Fresh was made for the Joris Herman's challenge, which states that you need to upload the video from 60 seconds up to 90 seconds. If you don't know who Joris Hermans is, I really suggest you subscribe to him. He's a great filmmaker and I'm learning a ton from him. So thank you, Joris. I have no idea if I won or not at the moment of recording this video, and even if I did or even if I didn't win. Hi everybody, Editor Tim here, and sadly we didn't win, but thank you, Joris, for the challenge and congratulations to all the winners. There were some great short films there. Alright, let's get back to the video. It was very challenging because a minute and a half is a very short time span. To make things even more challenging, I chose to use a minute, just a minute, for the short film itself and the rest for the credits. I'll explain later why, and you'll see it by the end of the video. So, in this video I'll be going over the movie and I'll be explaining why I used the shots I used, the music, the sound, and the colors. I'll be talking about everything, and even the scenes themselves. So, I have my trusty headphones and my laptop, so we can go over and take a look. But before we start, we need to talk about setting the story itself. Before you even start shooting, you need to understand your story. So, if you haven't watched this film yet, I suggest you watch it up here. Don't worry, it's a fast one and you'll enjoy it. If you've watched it, then you're part of an exclusive club that understood this joke I just did. The story itself talks about a cannibal, which has no name. Well, my wife Anna calls him Roger. I have no idea why, but let's call him Roger. So Roger likes eating people, but of course we don't want to show it from the get-go because it ruins the entire story. That's the entire plot twist. Roger invites someone who looks like his girlfriend. They are eating dinner and then he decides to kill her to eat her. If it's very hard for you, the graphic content here, then you can just turn this video off because I have a lot of dark humor and I love using it. So if you're part of the second exclusive club that loves dark humor, stay here and press the like button if you're enjoying so far, because Joris Hermans himself might see this video because you put a like and put a like himself. We have a cannibal that likes to eat people, but we can't tell it from the get-go. We need to build up the story. First, the color scheme, which is very, very important. I chose to use the earth color scheme, which means everything around brown, green, blue, beige, and brown itself. I chose it mainly because the table itself is a very dark brown. I have no idea the type of wood. That's the color of the table, which is very funny because I barely show the table. But in any case, I chose the table to be brown and I built the color scheme around it. Anna is wearing a blue dress while I'm wearing a beige shirt. And the intention there is that I, Roger, the character Roger, will blend into the environment, and you, the viewer, will notice Anna more than Roger, which will take the attention from him all the way to her. Everything I'm explaining right now is a tool that will help the plot to build up the twist, because you wouldn't expect it. So the first thing is we make Roger a very geeky guy that at first glance is very shy and can do no harm. It just looks like a romantic movie. There enters the music. I chose a romantic music, a very chilling, nice one. It looks like a dinner at the evening and they're having fun. Okay, so let's start watching. The first scene, which is very important, is just the opening scene, and it might look very odd because I'm just displaying food from above, but at the age of YouTube and attention spans, people don't want to start watching a video with credits. That's saved for Hollywood movies because you pay for the movie and you expect to see credits at the beginning of brands like Warner Brothers, and you have like 6-7 production companies that show their special video every time. So you don't have time for this, especially since the time span of the video is a minute and a half. We don't have a lot of time to spend. But I did want to use the branding of my channel and to display it and to start building the story. First of all, I'm showing that there's dinner. That's the beginning scene. So we're starting with this dinner scene.
Hi, how are you?
You start with the SFX, and as you see, while the SFX are playing, I'm displaying my brand. So I'm running the story, and as I'm running the story, I'm displaying the branding. Trust your viewers, they can multitask, they're just reading the brand and they continue to the story. You can hear the ring bell of the door, we're preparing the scene, and we don't even need to show her entering the room, again to save time, just the ring bell, the door opening, all SFX, and then we start with the opening shot.
Hi, dinner is served and these are for you.
Oh, they smell so fresh. Thank you.
My voice is a bit robotic. I could have done a better job. I wanted Roger to sound geeky, but it turned out to be very, very robotic. Anna did a superb job on her voice acting, so kudos. I should do a better job next time. But in any case, this scene is kind of odd, and I chose to shoot it specifically with that pole, this arch behind me that you see, to show the distance between the two characters. I could have filmed the characters in any place at this house without anything separating them, but just having that pole right in the middle separating them sets up the scene. It shows distance and it's kind of odd. It catches you and makes you think that something's weird here, but you can't really put your finger on it, and you might not even notice that you're thinking that something weird is going on here. This shot, by the way, was filmed without a mic because the angle was very awkward. I really hate the lighting. The lighting was like at the far end, so it's kind of awkward. I had to really punch in the frame, and I didn't have any place to put the mic there because the place itself is so odd. So everything you see there is actually a voiceover. Her grabbing the flowers. These are SFX because it looked weird that you grab the flowers but you don't have that plastic wrap kind of noise. I wanted to show the name of the movie, so just as she said it, fresh, I displayed it, and of course the dialogue was intentional, it was scripted. The name itself is also sort of a gameplay because you have a fresh meal here, but the fresh here is more about the flowers, and again, we're trying to deceive the viewer to think it's just a romantic dinner, fresh flowers, and everything's awesome. Bon appetit! So, how was it work? And then I'm cutting to the next scene, they're eating. So, it wasn't intentional, but in this scene you can see that Roger is sort of between the flowers and between Anna, so he's sort of locked in. If you think about it, it seems disarming because he seems trapped, and because he seems trapped and he's smiling, he seems like a very nice guy, he's a very geeky guy. We continue to deceive the viewer. The viewer thinks it's just a geeky guy asking how was work and everything's fine.
Well, first of all, I have this Kayla and she broke the printer.
This was a very, very cool shot I wanted to set. The most important thing here that I forgot to mention at the beginning, that I'm barely showing Anna's face. The entire purpose is that Roger looks at Anna as food and not as a person, so not showing her face at all makes us, the viewers, a bit intrigued. Why isn't he showing her face? The fact that they're talking and you're not seeing their faces makes the entire conversation seem odd, because it's not the main thing that Roger is concerned about. And in the next frame, while he speaks, you can hear that Anna keeps talking, but her voice is muffled. And the voice is muffled because he doesn't care about it. It's just a background noise for him while he's thinking his thoughts. About this shot, I specifically don't show the eyes, and that's intentional because we as human beings search for eyes. We search for eyes and we search for faces. If we don't have eyes, then something is off about the frame, especially since we see a face. So, it's something that you wouldn't realize, but your brain would start thinking that something is weird here.
The exquisite smile, the charming eyes, the beautiful long hair.
In these scenes, I'm showing just parts of Anna. He's intrigued by the beauty of things, but he doesn't see her as a human being. We're decomposing the face from the human being, so it's just something pretty for him to watch on. We're building up that weird scene and that weird tension that something is off here. It might seem that he's just some pervert, which again deceives the viewer.
I don't feel so good.
This is the money shot because as you see, I pause here. And this pause makes the entire scene work, because if you just fell down and I reacted, it might look as if I'm surprised. But the fact that I just stayed, I locked that scene, I held that fork, makes me look in control. Roger is in control, he knows what's happening, he's gonna finish his last bite, and he's gonna continue his meal.
These are the things that make a woman so attractive.
That sinister laughter was great acting by myself. Kudos to myself. I think I redeemed my very bad voice acting at the beginning.
It's such a shame then that the head has no meaning in my menu.
This shot, along with the hand shot, were the two shots I really wanted to film. I wanted to convey the plot twist in a very cool and seamless way. The fork turns into a knife, and you deliver the punchline as he does the voiceover while you show the knife. These are just two scenes filmed separately, and great thanks to Anna because she filmed the first one with the fork and I just made it work over the second one. So great job with the camera there. And then we go to the knife. This is the plot twist. This is where we reveal that she's just food. This is something I learned from my previous video 152. So if you haven't watched it, it's a horror one. I suggest you watch it here. Horror movies and movies about tension are built around SFX. You might not have noticed it, but next time you watch a movie, look for it. If I didn't add that riser effect of the tension rising, then the scene wouldn't be dramatic. It would just be me raising the fork. But the fact that I'm adding a riser adds to the tension and the viewer starts thinking that I'm gonna cut her neck. And then, right when the SFX finishes, we're cutting. Now, if you notice, I'm wearing a different shirt, and this is of course intentional. If I was wearing the same shirt, it might seem as if I daydreamed about myself today, but the fact that I'm in a different shirt at a different environment means that I'm at a completely different scene, and this might have not been a dream. This might have been a memory. So I'm separating between Roger that had dinner and Roger that is on the phone. Yeah, sorry, I completely dozed off. So what do you say about coming over? You know, nothing beats a fresh meal. And that's the joke from the beginning if you understood it. I'm adding the fourth wall break just because I thought it was cool. The fact that I'm staring at the camera right at the end breaks the fourth wall, so I'm watching at you. You're my next meal. And again, risers. I'm raising my eyebrow and I added the effects of a riser. If I didn't add it, it wouldn't add to the effect. And then it continues after to the black screen. This is very important, and this is why I chose to make the movie just 1 minute. First, the challenge itself is very, very fun, because shoving everything into a 1 minute time frame is very, very hard, was very challenging, and I had to cut a few things. Second, when the viewer finishes your video, remember that he's on YouTube. So if we just cut the video there, then he might have went to a different video or something else might have auto-played, and he would snap completely out of the video and out of the idea and right to the next one. So the fact that I'm continuing into the black screen and showing credits, shows a big thanks to Anna because she did a very good part here, and to myself because it wasn't very simple, and also because it makes the viewer stay. And just as you watch a very good movie at the cinema and the credits starts rolling and you keep sitting there and thinking about, whoa, what did I just watch? The same moment, I'm giving the viewer time to process the film itself and the experience. And that's what's adding the effect. So it's not just about the credits, it's also about the effect and letting the viewer process what you've seen. And of course the scene, the end scene, just the credits, nothing there. And I'm shifting to the music. So it will be a calm music, just the music that we began with, to let the viewer process. To summarize everything up, we have a cannibal that's eating people for dinner, and we used specific tools to deceive the viewer to think it's a romantic dinner by using a specific music, blocking and trapping him in a certain scene, and adding some small talk in dressing him up just as the environment itself, so he blends in while Anna is the main focus because she has a blue dress. And we're starting the plot twist with the speech, where we don't display the eyes because it looks odd, and then we start making him look like a pervert, which is kinda odd, but it still deceives the viewer because he won't see the plot twist coming. And then we're blending two scenes to make the fork become the knife, and that's the plot twist. It's not when she faints, but when we change the fork to the knife, because when she faints, he can still be a pervert, and the mind strays straight for the horrendous things that the pervert can do to a woman, which are horrible. but nobody expects that he'll be a cannibal because that's something unheard of. And that's the beauty of the plot twist. And we break the fourth wall by raising an eyebrow, and in the instance of the knife raising and the eyebrow, we add risers. Again, it's very important. If you want to convey tension and you want to break a scene, add a riser. Add a scary music. Again, I suggest you watch 152 because the movie itself is scary because of the SFX and the music. Without it, it looks odd. You just have the clips and you know, it doesn't really... it clicks in visually, but the storytelling doesn't work until you start adding these sound effects. So really work with risers, with tension, with music. It can really elevate your project. So, if you enjoyed this video, press that like button. Again, maybe Joris Hermans himself will watch this and presses the like button himself. So if you're here, I'm honored. And make sure to click the subscribe button to join the Elusive Frame community. We have dark humor here and cookies, so come to the dark side. And press that notification bell so you'll see new videos when they are released. I'll see you on the next one, and if you want, this is the playlist of the short films that we've done so far. And this is a video that YouTube recommends. So enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a nice day.